About 7 to 8 years ago, I had a pretty hectic sleep schedule. I'd maybe sleep 5 to 6 hours a night, wake up 2 to 3 times to go to the bathroom, and my sleep scores were usually in their 70s. Today I'm sleeping 7 to 8 hours without going to the bathroom, and my sleep scores are consistently over 90 and 100. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact changes I made that helped me to sleep uninterrupted for 7 to 8 hours, so you can also apply them and transform your sleep today. I want to start with something that really doesn't get talked that much about when it comes to sleep optimization, and that's your mindset. Your psychology actually has a much bigger effect on your sleep than you think. What I've noticed is that if I think I'm going to sleep bad, if I think I'm going to wake up, then I'm more likely to do so, compared to thinking that I'm going to sleep 7 to 8 hours straight. There is actually research showing that your brain can quote-unquote schedule awakenings when you anticipate waking up early or you're anticipating waking up in the middle of the night. The brain then schedules the release of cortisol to wake you up. If you are a more conscientious and meticulous person, this brain scheduling, I've noticed that it applies to more people who are very conscientious and meticulous. They want to be on time, they want to get the checkboxes done, so that's why their brain can schedule them to wake up also, if they decide to wake up early. You also create anxiety and anticipation when you go to bed, which makes you sleep worse and you're going to wake up more easily. The moment you do wake up even for a minute, you'll be frustrated, even more anxious and stressed out, because it confirmed your pre-existing belief. Now you're just tossing in the bed trying to fall back asleep, but you've already decided that you can't fall back asleep, which makes you even more frustrated. I'm pretty sure it sounds very familiar. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy and a vicious feedback loop. You sleep bad, you wake up during the night, you can't fall back asleep, you develop this belief that you can't sleep and you will wake up, you start identifying yourself as the person who can't sleep well and who wakes up all the time, and that makes you sleep worse, and the perpetual cycle continues. You become hyper-aware and pattern-recognizing these situations where you do wake up at the night, and you forget about the situations where you sleep well, which reinforces the cycle. This brings me to the second point that helped me to reshape my beliefs about my sleep. I'm kind of a short sleeper to begin with. I don't have these, crazy short sleep genes where I can sleep 2 to 3 hours and be fine, but I can generally sleep a little bit shorter than the average person. Historically, if I woke up at around 3, 4, 5 a.m., then a lot of the times I would just wake up because I felt generally quite good. I didn't feel tired, so I thought, hey, I already woke up, so might as well just start the day. But what I started doing instead was going back to bed and trying to sleep for another 30 to 60 minutes. And what I ended up doing is that I ended up sleeping for another 90 minutes. So just by falling back asleep even for 5-10 minutes, my body will go back to sleep and I will sleep another 90 minutes, which is a hack. So it's very underappreciated to just go back to bed and try to fall asleep. And by doing this repeatedly, I was rewiring my brain. Instead of being the person and instead of having a physiology that wakes up at 4 a.m., I rewired my brain and my physiology to be the person who wakes up at 6 a.m. The problem is people start ruminating and they start thinking about their work, their responsibilities, other concerns and problems. Your brain then thinks that it's the morning and you release cortisol. So it's actually more mental and mindset related than sleep related. Your psychology wakes you up. So for me, what helps me to fall back asleep quite easily is listening to music. If I wake up at 3-4 a.m., then I'll just put on headphones and I start listening to music, and that makes me fall asleep quite nicely. Now, it does need to be a specific type of music. If you listen to music that makes you very excited and happy and just eager to wake up, then yes, that music is going to wake you up. So the music you listen to shouldn't be something super exciting for you. It shouldn't be your favorite band and their new album. It should be something that you're already used to, you know the music, you maybe enjoy it, it relaxes you, but it's not something that really makes you want to go crazy. If you're a more anxious person who starts ruminating about bad sleep, then you might benefit from certain anxiolytic supplements like L-theanine, magnesium, or ashwagandha. They're all been shown to improve anxiety as well as sleep. Mindful breathing exercises like box breathing or deep diaphragmatic breathing has also been seen to improve sleep in patients with insomnia. So if you're struggling with falling back asleep, you can try some of these breathing exercises. I want to take a quick break to let you know about my favorite wellness devices, which are the bond charge red light therapy devices. You've probably seen many of your favorite longevity influencers using these red light therapy devices, but do they actually work? Yes, they do. Red light therapy has been shown to have many benefits on skin anti-aging, hormone optimization, pain management, and even exercise performance. I use my device every day for 15 minutes, especially during the winter months when there's not much sunlight. It increases my energy in the morning and makes my skin glow. Just check out the testimonials on the bond charge website website for the before and after pictures of other people. Most radiotherapy devices don't have the right wavelengths of light, which might mean you're not getting the claimed benefits. Bond Charge uses the exact wavelengths of light used in research, and they also have near-infrared light that's beneficial to the joints. Head over to bondcharge.com and use the code SIIM, S-I-I-M, for a 15% discount. Let's talk about what you should do in the evening to make it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. I've talked a lot about the importance of blocking blue light in the evening for better sleep and being able to fall asleep easier. I'm not going to go into that much detail in this video. What I've noticed from reducing bright light and blue light exposure before bed is that I fall asleep faster and more easily. From my sleep data, I also see that I get more deep sleep because you get more deep sleep in the first half of the night. What has had a more significant effect on my sleep has been eating an earlier dinner. In the past, I might have finished my dinner around 1 to 2 hours before bed, but today I finish eating around 4 to 5 hours before bed, and I notice that I sleep much better. Actually, going to bed hungry makes me sleep the best, which is kind of interesting. It makes sense because if you have a lot of food in your stomach, your body has to expend more energy to digest that food. But if you have less food in the stomach, then it takes less energy and your body can prioritize the physical repair that happens in your sleep. Another reason is that the gut has up to 400 times more melatonin than the pineal gland, and 10 to 100 times more than in the blood. Melatonin mediates the interactions between your body and your microbiome by modulating the gut bacteria and the production of short-chain fatty acids. Going to bed on an empty stomach might not work for everyone. Some people just can't fall asleep with an empty stomach, which is fine. Just eat something smaller, preferably something that has protein and a little bit of carbohydrates, like some berries with cottage cheese. There's also research that eating kiwis before bed improves sleep, which I've also experienced myself. Eat 2 kiwis after dinner and see if it helps. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you had a lighter evening snack, then the reason you woke up could be because your blood sugar has dropped. If your blood sugar drops too low, your brain will wake you up so that you wouldn't die. However, this is a situation of poor metabolic flexibility. Naturally, our bodies should go into ketosis during the night so that we would use our body fat for fuel. With poor metabolic flexibility, your body isn't able to do that, and therefore it wakes you up. To improve metabolic flexibility, you have to improve overall metabolic health with things like exercise and intermittent fasting. Short periods of intermittent fasting, like 16 hours, improve your metabolic flexibility and the ability to fuel with body fat. I've been doing this for 12 years, and it's one of the reasons for my excellent metabolic health. Let's talk about some supplements. Supplements that have been shown to reduce nighttime urination and the likelihood of waking up include glycine. Glycine also improves overall sleep quality and makes you fall asleep faster by lowering body temperature and increasing GABA, the relaxation neurotransmitter. I take about 3 grams of glycine after dinner with chamomile tea. Chamomile tea itself has anxiolytic effects, and it helps to empty your bladder because it's a diuretic. Melatonin is something that can definitely improve your sleep, as shown by research, but I find the dosage is very individualistic. I sleep the best with 0.3 milligrams melatonin, and with larger doses, I often wake up in the middle of the night. So you have to find what works best for you. The best dose for sleep onset appears to be 4 milligrams of melatonin 3 hours before bed, as shown by a recent meta-analysis. This means you'll have higher melatonin already before you go to bed, which makes you feel a lot sleepier. If you're a person who has trouble falling asleep, then try this. Take a larger dose of melatonin several hours before bed, rather than taking it immediately before bed, because it will take a few hours for melatonin to kick in. Alright, let me sum you up the things that have helped me to sleep throughout the night the most. Number 1, sleeping in and going back to sleep. This is probably the biggest factor to me sleeping longer and without waking up. My mindset is that I'm going to sleep 7 to 8 hours, and I'm not scheduling my brain to wake up at 3 or 4 a.m., even if I do wake up at those times. If I wake up, I'll go back to sleep, and I'll end up sleeping another 1 to 2 hours. If you struggle with stress and anxiety, then you need to start rewiring your brain to not get anxious about waking up at night. You can use some supplements and breathing exercises to help with that, but it requires a fundamental rewiring of your brain. Earlier dinner has made it a lot easier to fall asleep faster and get more deep sleep. At this point, it's a non-negotiable for me, because I don't want to have late night snacks or late dinners. If you can't fall asleep with an empty stomach, have something smaller, like protein with some kiwis. Glycine works great when combined with chamomile tea and melatonin. Find out what dose works for you, because it might not be the same for everyone. In the past, I was a lot more careless about my sleep. That's why I slept 5 to 6 hours and I thought it was fine. Yes, I was getting away with it to a certain extent, but nowadays, I definitely prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. If you want to know about the full sleep optimization routine that I follow, then check out this video next.